In 1840, when Alexis de Tocqueville came here, he said, "America is a nation of clubs." He was coming from a nation of homos called France. But outside of that weak province, the West was a nation of clubs. The Knights of Columbus, the Know-Nothings, the Shriners. We always had these clubs, and Gloria Steinem decreed them sexist in the 80s, and that was the end of clubs. So I thought, why don't we bring this back? Why don't we have a men's club? No parameters, just dudes. You have to be born male, by the way. And believe it or not, that has actually come up. I've had bull dykes come and go, "Can I be part of this?" Sorry, no. Why not? We're never going to use this. And I go, yeah, just go to the Proud Boys girls and you'll be the most masculine one there as opposed to the most feminine man that we have in our club. Anyway, I gave away the name. But I started a men's club called the Proud Boys, and we have one caveat, and that is you have to be a Western chauvinist. Now, liberals are lazy, so they hear the word chauvinist and they assume male chauvinist, and that's why I use that word, because they're too lazy to look it up, and it just means a nationalist, a patriot. And you have to think the West is the best. And it exploded. There's thousands of members all over the world. There's Proud Boys Africa, there's Proud Boys Japan, we've got about 5 different divisions in Australia, and I just made it up. Like we're called Proud Boys because I went to one of my kids' music recitals and some ponce got up there, and while everyone's playing the piano and the violin and doing stuff they tried, he gets up and he goes, "Proud of your boy, I'll make you proud of your boy." It's some song from Aladdin. And I was looking around for the dad because I thought there's no way this dad is proud of his boy. And of course, he was a child of a single mom. Duh. His mother told him, "Yeah, sing a song, that's a talent." And there was no dad to say, "No, you're not. Play the piano, for Christ's sakes." So we made up these rules. There's, just like the Knights of Columbus, there's first degree, second degree, third degree. What's the second degree, Gav? And I went, you have to get beaten up by 5 men for how long? Until you can name 5 breakfast cereals. Done. Third degree. What's the third degree, Gav? You have to quit porn and get a tattoo. Done. It's massive. I was saying to Ann Coulter the other day, I'd love to have you come and do a talk at one of our meetups, but you're a woman. I don't know how to do that. Maybe you could wear a burqa or something. You could do a video. And she goes, "I don't want to come to your club. I don't want to ruin that." She goes, "My father was in these kind of clubs, and one day they just disappeared. And what did men do? They were told it was sexist to congregate, so they went to strip clubs." Now, there's women there, but there's no ladies there. And you can fart, and you don't have to pull out chairs for anyone. You can tell offensive jokes, and this is considered a crime in today's day and age. And they tell us that we're racist and we're anti-Semitic. And I go, "What about this black guy who's a member and this Jewish guy who's a member?" And they go, "They're racist and anti-Semitic." So this black guy's a white supremacist? Yes, he is. Well, that's handy. He can just sit at home and punch himself in the face all day. Like, I used to call it fake news, then I called it crazy news. It's crazy ex-girlfriend news. And these liberals are like, they're psychotic, calling black guys racist and Ben Shapiro a Nazi. I'm scared of them. I'm scared of them like a drunk chick. You know how she's just on the, right at any moment, she could start scratching your face and smashing balls, and you're like, "Hi, you should probably get a cab."
So when Gavin McInnnes made a video claiming that he was retiring from the Proud Boys, I deliberately held myself back from making an immediate comment because I wanted to sort of take some time to percolate on my feelings about the Proud Boys as a movement and sort of the things that I found most odious about the premise of the Proud Boys before I did some kind of a quasi-eulogy, even though Gavin McInnnes retiring is not the end of the Proud Boys group any more than fucking Karl Marx dying was the end of communism, or Adolf Hitler committing suicide was the end of fascism. The reason that it doesn't matter if Gavin McInnnes steps down right now is in the video that I cited here, which is to say that he's already established the ideology. He's already established the structure for the cells. He's already given out his 10 commandments. And what's sort of interesting if you watch this clip is that the bad faith starts right away, which is if what he's saying in the first 20 seconds is true, then the rest of that video is not necessary. Meaning, if this is just a stag club in the old sense of the word, right? That meaning if he understands this to be just a stag club, there is no such thing as just a stag club. There is no such thing as an apolitical group like this in terms of everything that you do is political. What you include, what you prohibit, all of it is ideology. All of it is a byproduct of politics. So the first 20 seconds of the video is nothing to see here, folks. We're not ideological. This is just a club for guys who like dudes. What's better than that? And then the next 3.5 minutes or so that I have here in the video at large then starts to McInnnes starts to expand into these tirades about why fags and dykes are not welcome in his fucking club. The word, not just the words, the ideas that he is using to structure, to build this little gingerbread house of his are pure politics. This is an agenda. This, you know, the most frustrating thing for me is for these so-called alt-right or conservative types that are not quite alt-right is that they don't own any kind of position. And what makes them in a way more insidious is that they use a kind of prestidigitation, a kind of magician's trick to pretend that the status quo is apolitical, that just keeping the unfair system as it is already, maybe it's less unfair than the system was 100 years ago. Mission accomplished. The system is less racist than it was during slavery, supposedly. Or the status quo is less misogynist than it was during the 1300s. Mission accomplished. We don't need to change anything. Everybody who's in power should be in power, and there's no reason to progress any further. This is the Bill Maher, Gavin McInnnes, Milo Yiannopoulos brand of liberalism, of we have as much tolerance as we need, and I'll take whatever allowances I feel like that day, because maybe I'm not as bad as A, B, and C, and I'm not as bad as someone who has a swastika tattoo on their bald head, and I'm not as bad as someone who strangles gay people because I shake Milo Yiannopoulos' hand without washing it after. So. Without washing my hands after. So the very function of this kind of the status quo as apolitical is to convince people to accept defeat. Things are how they're supposed to be, or things are how they always were, or things are as they're always going to be. The Proud Boys organization, and again, he touches on this in his fucking video, Retiring, where he does the thing of, it's just dudes sharing fart jokes, so to speak. This is just a fraternal organization. It's like Fred Flintstone's Order of the Buffalo, or whatever that was. He would wear that fucking hat on his head. But the mundane can also be insidious. There are norms. This is what liberals don't understand, and why it's so sort of catastrophic to these intellectual dark web, alt-right, Sargonite types. They don't understand that something that is boring and everyday can be oppressive or exploitative. They don't understand how you can be oppressing black people if you're not pulling out a whip and beating them for not meeting a cotton quota that day. They don't understand how you can be homophobic if you're not in a Middle Eastern country throwing gay people off a roof. Am I not merciful, so to speak? They don't, they don't get how, it's just kind of this idea of if you don't make a scene, if you don't make a show of your politics, then you don't have politics per se, because it's quiet, because it's average, because it's everyday. This is why they mock the idea of microaggressions, is the idea that these small increments of violence can be perpetuated in these little sort of Chinese water torture drops. Each drop sort of driving you more and more insane every single day, doing damage. Gavin McInnes's idea of masculinity is destructive. It tears apart the lives of the men who adhere to it. It tears apart the lives of the people that love those men. It tears apart the lives of the people who have to compromise their day-to-day existence in order to appease the Proud Boys' form of masculinity. And even the most meme components of their philosophy, as established in the different degrees of their, isn't this goofy that we have, we beat men down until they can name 5 cereals. Beating someone until they can prove that they can take it is, again, this is all initiation. This is all getting you used to this form of extreme, brutal masculinity. This is all about brainwashing you without even telling you what it is that you're conforming to, and it's not telling you when you follow these rules of the Proud Boys Club that are sort of wrapped in, you guys, this is just a joke, it's just a meme, this is just boys being boys. this is just a bunch of frat kids having fun. You sort of disallow how what you do defines who you are. If you participate, even ironically, in this stuff, eventually over time, it's going to reform you into the McInnnes man. It's going to reform you into a beer-chugging, ass-slapping, Antifa assaulting, Western civilization champion.